What up, y'all? It is Alex. It has been a while, but we are back. We are doing a breakdown of Silhouettes 1, 2, and 3 by Floating Points. This was recommended by Adam Heaton. You should hit him up and look him up on Spotify if you need some cool playlists. He makes loads of playlists, and his most famous is an acid techno one. They're mostly techno based. He's got some house stuff and some other cool electronic music. So go ahead and check it out. He threw a response on his acid playlist, and we really appreciate that. So yeah, shout out to Adam. And let's dive into this. This is going to be probably our most complex breakdown we've done. This track is just pretty bananas. And yeah, so buckle up because this track's almost 11 minutes long. So let's just press play and see what we hear. Okay, so first thing, we have this like opening hook. This is going to be holding it down. It just plays a really prominent part in this beginning section because it's just an easy thing to hear. It happens right away, so your brain comprehends it quickly. Pretty cool. And I want to note how we have this noise coming into the picture. So basically, once this riff happens, you're going to get to almost 15 seconds till another like prominent note or something like usually musical happens. And so it's interesting how the noise rises in volume here and just like fills in that space for your ears. That way you're not listening to nothing, even though maybe that would be fine, but you're listening to this noise, which is kind of interesting, and producers love to nerd out about that type of thing. So once again, listen for the hook happen and then the noise come in. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool, right? I feel like for me at least the noise helps, it helps give a nice sense of anticipation, kind of like you were at a live show. And I mean, this song to me sounds, I think it does actually repeat some sections almost exactly. We'll figure that out later, but it does feel very live. And if you ever go to Detroit or live here, if you've been to Motor City Wine, it's a really cool spot. Have a lot of house DJs, a lot of like jazzy DJs, but they'll play live jazz too. And this reminds me of that place. So yeah, shout outs to Motor City Wine. And yeah, so okay, now we're gonna have drums coming in. I didn't do all the drums exactly for this track. Like I normally try and get it to look closer at least, but there's just, this track's gonna change so much. So we're gonna have a kick drum come in, something that's the 2 and the 4. You'll see that I put 2/4 white noise, that's WN, snare, knock. That's because it's gonna like kind of evolve and take shape in different ways. We'll go over that. And then we have this like rattling sound. So check that out. Oh yeah, and then we have a repeating of the opening hook. So again, this repeating of the hook kind of says, okay, we're restarting over a cycle. We're gonna keep listening to some cool shit. Okay, so this is really neat. These drums come in, they're setting the vibe. Again, hopefully you can hear the kick, white noise, snare thing, rattling hi-hats. Just listen one more time real quick just to the drums. And you might want to note, it sounds like there's a flanger here on this snare thing because just listen to it. It's kind of changing each time. Wheel, wheel, whoa. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool trick. If you've never thrown a flanger on a snare, maybe do that. Now, I love how these keys, they just sound really gorgeous. They're really nice. They come into the game, really help take us deeper into the feel. And then we have this saxophone make just like a couple of weird little notes here and there, which really gives you that live feel. I don't know how this is recorded. If you do, comment below. They may have recorded, I would guess, probably, right? Some, like, maybe the whole band together, because it just feels so live. Then we have some, like, metal reverb thing happening. All right, so this is really neat. I feel like this is a section here, I guess kind of, and now once we get, this is like its own section here. And now once you get this repeating key, I probably could have put this repeating key up here if I wanted to, but I just thought it was better to separate it for this purpose because it takes on such a prominent role. And so I just want to give it its own track for looking at. But, and if you'll note here, you'll see I added some of the little crash ride things. Whatever. So it sounds like we have a drum set. That's the thing. This is very like traditional in a way. You have your drum set, you have your keys, and you have some other stuff, but those are, I guess you have this main hook. Very few elements, but just played really nicely, leading the track and giving us some good stuff. All right, so now let's see where we're going here. And by the way, you're going to notice really quickly if you've watched any of my other videos that we've been doing lots of techno recently, which has been great. But it's just cool because with the techno, we're already usually, at this point, we would be repeating sections from earlier, but we're just getting a lot of change here. This is very fluid, kind of jazzy. If you're one of those jazz nerds out there, and I say that in a good way, I'm envious of you sometimes because I don't really know jazz. Comment below what you think about this track. Give us some cool stuff to think about. I'll read it and I'll find it interesting too. I'm kind of just going for it, and I'm learning a lot doing this too, I think. I don't know. Let's see. All right, so basically this key's coming in. Just a little note, the rhythm that this key is playing, do 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 do, it's really nice. It's used a lot actually. It's like pretty sure you'd call this a common polyrhythm. I don't want to get too deep into that, but basically it doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, I guess it does. Like, so the track has a tempo, it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a polyrhythm is playing like a different tempo or a different like time signature over the original tempo, but working. So like if the original is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the polyrhythm's on top of it going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or something like that, more or less. Google it if you want to learn more. That's a super armchair / I read it a while ago and I kind of get it. So I love how this key comes in. It kind of just starts taking us in a new direction. It's kind of saying, hey, you come this way. This is awesome. Okay, so remember when I said the key is going to like direct everyone in one direction? So that's kind of what's going on. So the key's playing, and listen how the drums, some of them, like they're not doing a whole lot here, but then they're just kind of, they're hearing that key, D, 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 and they're like, oh, what's that doing? Okay, let's kind of drum up a cool beat. And now I put AM on here. Yep. I know you're hopefully not frustrated, but listen, y'all, I was not going to type out every drum hit for this drum pattern. That would just be miserable. And so I put this AM because it seems like it's sort of like a nice variation, or it's similar sounding to an amen break. If you don't know what that is, just Google that. It's tight. And yeah, so all right. All right, let's keep going. So yeah, the key's going. It's kind of told the drums, hey, this is the direction we're going to go in, so like get your shit together and start playing something tight. And now the keys are also going to follow suit, and they're going to start playing something as well. I know I'm talking very generically, but that's kind of the point, is just to give like a brief overview of what's occurring. I also feel like it's interesting to me. I get very heavy Radiohead vibes in this section here. So okay, I'm going to start over from where the keys start, and then the do do do, and then you can listen to everything kind of join into the game and take us into another world. So we've been in this little world here, and now we're going to go into a little different one. Oh my god. Where's the flute synth? I swear I drew this in when I first did this. Alright. My bad. So, let me just do it with y'all. I'll wing it here. Whatever. Normally I do this before and then I would fix it, but that's more or less what's happening. This flute light synth is entering the game and this is great. So let's just talk about what just happened. Keys happened, we got into a groove, the drums picked up, and then once the bass guitar comes in, now we're really cruising. Now we're into a groove and it's a good time for everybody involved. Now, with that said, the keys are kind of just meandering around. We got like a nice chord here. We got a little, just like little wandering notes. Still playing chords though. There should be more notes under this one. So that's what's kind of neat about this track. So far, it's very fluid. We're just kind of, it feels very improvisy, very jammy, and we're just flowing with what's with the situation. We're just flowing with whoever's playing what. You never know what's gonna happen sometimes in a good improv situation. And again, I don't know if they I don't know their exact recording process. If you do, let's hear it in the comments. But okay, flute synth comes in. Awesome. So listen to how we're just flowing. This is so cool. Okay, so I just made this a blank mark because the flute synth's just playing something. I did not want to make all the specifics because this track just took me forever to break down. So I had to save some time. I think the keys might play something here or there. But the main point is that the flute sort of takes over. And actually, I'm going to listen one more time and then tell you what I think the main point is. Okay, so yeah, I could have taken this key high thing probably out further because it's still going, but it's cool how, let me just do that now. It's cool how this key high thing starts fading out. We're getting a lot of things fading out here. Listen to how loud the drums are here versus here. So yeah, the drums are fading out, the keys fading out. It's just getting really quiet. It's getting really intimate. And it's really neat because what's going to bring us out of that quiet intimacy? Oh, the opening hook back again to remind you, hey, there was some sort of theme going on. Even though we're just kind of meandering a bit, there was this thing we cared about. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Whoops. The bass line does change up here. Again, I didn't want to mark it off, especially because maybe I could have, but it seemed tough to get this track on the grid because it seems so live that I didn't want to do it. Like I said, this was enough to break down. So the bass line's changing, and that's what's important. It might look really similar, but this is pink. That one's purple. So just remember that bass line's changing, which is taking us in a whole new direction. Flute-like synth's gonna meander, keys are gonna meander, drums are gonna keep playing. Now, I know this might sound like I'm cheating because I'm just so briefly going over this, but as I'm talking, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of this track, is its fluid-like motion. We have a little thing at the beginning. We go into this new zone. Now we're going into another new zone, and it feels very, it's almost like we're going through like investigating a forest. It's very good. What's over there? Let's see what's going over there. but you're thinking like that as you're playing your instrument. You're going, wow, this is a cool groove, but what's over there? Let's walk over there. And once in a while you're like, over there was cool, but let's go back to the beginning. All right. I feel like whatever. Hopefully you're getting something out of this, but I was just scared. I was putting this off forever, this track, cuz it's not what we normally do. Comment on how sounds are coming in and out and the track is breathing. Okay, let's listen to this part and I'll see why I wrote that. Might help to listen to from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna start this over, but I'm not gonna show you the visual because I don't think they're really helping. So I wrote IP because that means improvise, and that's why I wrote comment on how sounds are coming in and out, track is breathing, because just listen to this section again, but honestly just listen to it. Don't look at my screen, and just notice how you're gonna hear like the keys come in, the flute comes in, things are just gonna come in and out. Unlike if you're listening to like a pop song where the vocals like, yo, here I am, this is all you're gonna do. Or like, I don't know, an acid techno track where the acid techno line is like, yo, this is the thing. The 303, this is all we're gonna do. With this, you got something says something, something else comes in and says something. It's really neat. Wow. 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 This is great. Okay. Sorry, I'm just getting excited. So basically at this point, like I said, instruments are one thing's doing one thing, another thing's doing another thing. There's just like a dialogue going on. Instead of like just each instrument's talking to each other, and they're slowly starting to talk more. I'm trying to think of something to say that's not what I'm gonna say, but I feel like this section's it's kind of like sex in a way. Like you have, you know, the foreplay's happening, one person's talking, someone else is talking, then y'all start really getting into it, and like everyone wants to, I guess in this case everyone would be your body parts, whatever. I guess I'm just gonna keep going with this. You're just feeling stuff everywhere, and it's getting exciting, and yeah. And the reason why I put starting the theme !4 is because we get this theme that keeps playing throughout the rest of the track. So remember how we had this opening hook? So that was like a theme. But now we have a new theme. Let's see if you can hear it. / I don't remember how it sounds off the top of my head, so I'm going to listen to it again. Yes. Okay. It's when we get this lift coming up. No, that lift right there, that is the shit. That's the good stuff. So that's like this new theme we're gonna get. So later on the track, you're gonna have some like vocals going. "Ah." It's really awesome. I'd consider it the climax, and basically we get a hint of that happening here with that rise. It's so good. So that's why I'm saying like we're getting like a new theme coming into the game. But okay, so now we got the theme coming on. Now I know what you're saying, Alex. That MIDI did not follow that track at all. And you're right. Um, I just didn't want to do it because I mean y'all hear this track. That would be miserable. So, but you get the general idea. So here we're just jamming still. We're really just continually to jam. So, like I said, I'm not a classically trained jazz musician, but I mean, it seems like they're just improvising on one thing and improvising on another thing, then improvising on another thing. So there's your like armchair breakdown. And again, people out there, just tell me how wrong I am if what I'm saying is wrong, or just tell us about jazz. But as far as I can tell, the shit's just changing every once in a while, and they're improvising on it, and it's cool. All right, so now we've returned back to the first full groove. I'm calling it a full groove because once that bass guitar entered over here, that's when, bass is groove, right? So we really are feeling that again. So we have a bit of a return to the beginning, and you're going to hear a little burner. Sounds like it happens. I put it in the key here. Over here, I put it in opening hook. That sounds like it actually might be the same keyboard, but it's very loud here. So I put this one here because it's quieter. And I like how it's kind of just like a suggestion. It's kind of like a, hey, remember that thing we did? So this is cool. You get a little sense of familiarity. Now let's keep listening. Reason why I wrote interesting here is because this track does feel so live, but check this out. This sax thing is the same sax thing that happened in the beginning. For example, listen to this. More or less. And now, where are you? Now listen to this. We're going to get again. Did you hear that? Again, I'm sorry that I'm not... There's so many details that could be fun to work out. Like, for example, is the timing between this the exact same as the one from earlier? Because then that would suggest that perhaps it was just copied and pasted in a program upon its construction. Or whoever that was playing the sax just thought that was such a dope sequence that they were going to repeat it again. And since they just repeated it again, it sounds a little different than before, but it's still the same. Either way, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm not going to figure that out for y'all right now. So, but I mean, hey, it's interesting to see that something so like random sounding, this can be repeated and be cool. Because I don't know, I maybe wouldn't have thought to do that. And yeah, that's just I just found that interesting. and thought maybe some of y'all will too. But okay, we're going to keep grooving. I'm not going to talk much about the section. We've just been kind of returning, grooving. Drums look like they're going to drop out here a little bit. Amazing. So remember when I said we got that foreshadow of the theme? Well, here's the theme. Let me just show you that foreshadowing again. Where was that? Or I'll go to the theme coming on part. We get this lift. That's so pleasant, but now we get the full theme, and now we're really getting the goods. So good. So good. So good. Okay, so I put sax here. It might be a synth. I don't know, but you have this thing meandering. And while it's meandering, the vocals come in to give what I think is the coolest part of the song, this vocal melody, which is this, to me it's the climax of the song, this hook they do. So it goes, ah, and then when they repeat it, they do like little step ups. So instead of just going, ah, they'll go like, ah. And yeah, so listen to that. Listen how it kind of just goes up, and then here it goes, instead of just going step by step up, it takes these little dips and then keeps going up. I know this wasn't synchronized either, but I feel like somehow this still made sense visually. Okay, you heard it stepping. Now we're gonna get some like harmonies hitting here. I think they start like right about there. Yeah, it's right on that, which is the last like note before a new cycle. The new cycle starts on that. Cool. Now I wrote step it up harmonies because I think it's gonna repeat, but it's just gonna be more impactful. And then these strings are gonna come in and they're gonna solo kind of off of the theme. By that I mean, when I say off of the theme, I mean listen how this sax or synth or whatever is playing along with the vocals for the first two notes. It's going to go do, do. They're going to play the same thing. So you're like, okay, cool. Everything's all together. But then instead of like doing the third note like the vocals do, it kind of starts to wander away. It's like this is the mom and that's the child. And they're like sticking together. But then the mom's like, fine, you can walk around for a bit. And maybe he'll come back. I don't know if he comes back. But yeah. So that's what I mean by off the theme. Like, the sax is playing with the theme, but then it's like, I'm going to do my thing for a little bit. But playing the thing from the theme. I'm probably confusing you. Basically, it sounds the same at the first, and then it does something different. Someone out there watching this, go make some techno bangers that have this sort of structure and then send it to us. That'd be fun. Okay, / send it to me and I can give you a shout out. And I don't know if it's got to be good though, or else no shout out, but maybe still a shout out if the effort's good. Okay, so I'm sorry. I hope I didn't put people off by that. All right, let's keep listening. Okay, fuck, let's rewind a bit. All right. That was great. So basically, we're just cruising on this theme. We're just really driving it home, repeating it a lot. Key comes in, plays a solo. The strings, they originally said something different than harmonize, which they say now. I don't know why I did that. But the strings really are just mostly playing that main theme, giving it like different harmonize, different harmony. Sounds really nice. And yeah, the simplest way to put it is it's like adding to that main theme directly by emphasizing it. And yeah, and then kind of like before, we're just going to go deeper and deeper. So you'll notice we keep kind of having sections where we wander into a groove, then wander into another groove, and now wander into another groove. This is less wandering, and it seems more purposeful to me, just because it just, I don't know. I mean, I guess at the beginning it's still a bit wandering, but towards the end we're like locked into this groove and we're really pushing it. Sweet. The drum beat was different here. That's why it says KN. I can't remember. I think KN because there's a knock involved. I don't remember why I put KN. Basically, the drum beat's different there, if you care. Now we're going back to the Amen sort of thing. I know you probably wish I'd mentioned that earlier. I do too, but here we are. This video is already probably really long, and we're just going to keep moving. I'm mostly interested in, again, how we start in a new groove, grow up. I used that sex thing earlier. The analogy just keeps happening. But okay, let's go into Amen. Oh, what's that? The opening hook. I didn't point this out earlier, but you'll hear this like kind of like wandering weird white noisy thing. This happens at the beginning. Reason why it says 2/4 white noise snare knock is, listen, you'll hear something playing on the 2 and the 4, and if you're wondering what the 2 and the 4 is, if you say boots and cats and boots and cats, the cats is the 2 and the second cats is the 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. But listen, as the 2/4 happens, you're gonna hear that like squirgly white noisy thing. Just listen for it. All right. So, I think it's important to note that we're getting that again. It's very interesting because, I mean, this song just... Again, I really want to know how exactly it was produced because it seems live. I'm guessing maybe it was like live and then just edited in computer, but obviously more so than just mixing it. Because I would guess, unless someone was manually playing, I don't know, they probably weren't. But like the fact they get that little modulation with the white noise, that's like a nice detail. It's very cool. All right, let's keep listening. Alright, so now I just let it play out for a while. If you've watched any of the other videos, now we're getting something a little more familiar. Something I'm about to say is something I say in a lot of techno tracks. We have a return to this section, which is from earlier. Remember over here? So we have a return to that. I know I'm cruising around quickly, sorry. And then same thing, we had this space where it's mostly just keys and drums, and then we have this leading key come in, and then it takes it to the bass guitar, which is what happened over here. We have just drums and keys, and then we have the leading key, and then we have the bass line. So we kind of have a repeating of that like 3-step process. And okay, let's listen for that. already kind of listened to that. So it keeps going. But the thing that's similar to the techno breakdowns is we're returning to a similar groove, but now we're just adding an element. This is what happens in a lot of those techno tracks. You return to something similar and add something new, or whatever. So the new thing is now we have that vocal thing playing, that theme from the vocal over this original, what are we going to call that, an A section? Well, let's just call it an A section because it's like the first section, really, if we're ignoring the intro. I think it's an A section. Again, y'all should know by now I'm not a music theory nerd, and I'm not hating on those who are, and I already told you my thoughts on that. Comment if you want. Okay, so vocals are going up. Did you see that transition from the amen into the knock? That was cool. Let's listen for that. That was good. Wow. I just had to let it play out because it's so beautiful. So basically we end with this big theme. Vocals are playing. Synth. The strings are, I said supporting cast. Why did I say that? Because they're just kind of harmonizing with the vocals. They're supporting it. And just notice there's so many cool harmonies happening with the vocal stacks. It sounds like you got multiple singers or you stack the same singer. By stack the same singer, watch my Lady Gaga videos if you want to know about that. But okay, so the Vox is doing their thing. It's just gorgeous. I'll point out one of those harmonies. Let me listen. Let's just listen again, and once I find the one in particular that caught my ear, I'll point it out. like this part here. That right there. Because you have that one note. Ooh. It's adding this weird dissonance to it. It's a lot of tension. It makes me want to cry. Because while you have that dissonance, that, oh, something's upsetting, you have these beautiful voices on the high side going, oh. So you're just like, oh, I'm feeling so many things right now. It's just awesome. Honestly, y'all, I'm just gonna make this ending short. The ending's dope. The vocals are harmonizing like crazy. Stuff fades out. I will say I'm not a big fan of the string ending. That thing, just because I thought it was fading out so beautifully. I wish it just faded, but it's all good. That's just my opinion. Y'all can love that part. But yeah, this track is sweet. Might be a while before we do another one like this because it's pretty tricky. But if you want the MIDI to look at this, email me at wilcox.alex@me.com. Comment below other tracks you want me to do. Like this video, tell a friend, subscribe. You know the deal. All right. Check out Adam Heaton. Check out his playlist on Spotify. And thank y'all. That's Floating Points Silhouettes. Hopefully you got something out of that. It's probably the longest video. I wonder what we're at right now. But yeah. Bye-bye.